doing? Nothing? Why not?
I'm trying to get on this lifestyle radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, maybe I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
Good evening. I'm Coulter Wonkite. I'm already into the 420, damn it.
You like music, you like weed, well, we gonna be good friends indeed. This is not much I like more than smoking trees. They'll make you dance the do-si-do and teach you how the chiva grows. Smoke a bowl on the 420 radio show. On Lifestyle Radio.
Live now, or are we on?
We are. This is the 420 radio show. That was Russell Barth, and his wife, Christine, is here as well. Hello, Christine.
Hello. Hello. Good evening, everybody.
And Marcel's eating a cheeseburger, so we're going to let him eat his cheeseburger while we talk to Russell. Our topic... and Christine, sorry. I'm not used to having two guests on at once. And we've just lost them, though, unfortunately, Marcel.
So it's just you and I to entertain everybody?
Yeah, well, let's dance.
Let's get Russell back.
Yes, we'll do that. We'll get Russell right back, and we're going to be sitting around tonight yapping about treating epilepsy with cannabis and MS and. Anything else?
No, just chatting with Russell, and I think we're going to talk about Russell and his video.
Yeah, and we're going to watch, I'm going to watch, you guys are going to hear, I'm going to watch a video that Christine did, I guess, a few years ago.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes,
in where she's,
problem.
that's okay, where she's chatting, I don't even know what she's chatting about, but I do know there's a seizure involved. I'm just telling people that I'm going to watch your video, Christine. I've never seen it before. And
Certainly.
We decided that because I'm an empath and I feel those things, Marcel wants to go for the whole package here on the feeling meter.
Right.
So,
No,
you know.
I'll just warn you, it's very graphic. Brace yourself. Every time I see it, and when I still watch it now and then, it still tugs at me, and it's incredible.
My cousin has severe epilepsy, just plain old epilepsy, and she had been having many grand mal seizures a day, and it's ruled her life, as you know. That happens.
Yes.
And then I've been chatting with a gal who has an 8-year-old son who has seizures, and he went from 20 to 50 seizures a day to 5.
That's Mandy, right?
No.
Oh, because there's a woman in Ottawa who's got a toddler. He's like 3 or 4.
No, this gal's in
he was having
California.
like 60 a day. Now he's having almost none.
Yeah, this gal's in California with her son.
Oh, okay.
And so they have access, which is great. And he's been getting some tincture, AC/DC tincture, but it's not helping with the pain. Everybody's talking about the CBDs versus the THC thing.
Right. Yes.
So it's not helping him with the pain because there's other issues. He's bedridden, and but when we started working out the doses with him, she told me that for the first time in his life, he was watching her, and he was scanning her as she was doing things in the room, and then he told her he was hungry. He's never done it before.
Wow.
So,
that's wonderful.
It grabs my heart, and I couldn't even watch his videos. She sent me some videos, and I couldn't even watch that. So I'm going to do my best to watch your video, Christine. Okay.
I won't be offended if you can't get through it.
Okay.
Don't worry.
I'll make fun of you if you can't get through it.
Yeah, so Marcel makes fun of me all the time.
The thing about it is the camera is zoomed out, but my friend was holding it and he came in close. So it comes right in close, so you can see the sort of those circular muscles around the eye socket.
Yep.
You can see them twitching in ways that even Jim Carrey couldn't do with his face.
I've seen somebody, have a full-out grand mal seizure before, my cousin. And there was no warning. It just happened. She did what she needed to do. She had her seizure, got back up, and continued her dinner.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it becomes just a normal routine, right?
If you're lucky. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not so much anymore, though. It's catching up with Christine. She's, she's had so many seizures, she's starting to really feel them. If she has them now, she's basically, dragging her ass around for 2 days after.
Yeah.
She used to be able to shake them off in a couple hours,
But
and not anymore.
no. And sometimes, too, as you were mentioning, it's not just simply seizures as well. You're dealing with pain issues. You're dealing with injuries. There's plenty of times while I'm in the middle of having convulsions, I will dislocate my arm, my shoulder, and my collarbone, and Russell will have to put that back into place for me. There was one other time before I was with my husband. I was visiting I guess it was a counselor that I was seeing, trying to help me deal with all of this. And what happened, I pitched forward and I struck his beautiful wood table. He had a hunk of Douglas fir, so it was it was actually Douglas fir.
Okay.
Yep, sorry. It was Douglas fir, and it was about 4 or 5 inches thick, so it was good and solid. And I pitched forward, and I ended up breaking my nose, and I started bleeding all over his beautiful fur rug. So I had left quite a mess, and that was, I think, pretty close to the end of my appointments with that doctor. So there's embarrassment, there's, humiliation. Yeah. There's people who will make fun of you when you're having an actual...
And sometimes she'll just have mild ones, like a few, just last week. I usually get up hours before she does. She'll sleep in till 9 o'clock or so. And she was sleeping away, and then I hear her sort of move suddenly and wake up suddenly, not the way she normally does. And I go in, and we realize that she's wet the bed significantly. So we figure, well, she must have had a mild seizure. Didn't even realize that she's, because that's what happened when you have a seizure and you're just asleep and you just lay there, have a mild one, and, pee out. So, so these are the kinds of things. It's not just grand mal seizures. It's these mild seizures that can happen any time. It's the pain. It's these... these adrenaline rush mood swings where she'll start screaming and yelling and throwing things around.
Yeah,
it's a little bit of everything, isn't it?
I feel as though I'm just talking very, very calmly as I am now.
Yeah.
But really, I'm screaming at the top of my lungs and just she-hulking it out here. Yeah. It's incredible.
It's it's very admirable, I have to say, that you're standing up proud and trying to educate people on how to fix this or deal with it, right?
Yes.
Well, how that came about was in 2002. Christine was still on pharmaceuticals. I was in my wheelchair, and we went to this Million Marijuana March on Parliament Hill, May 5th, 2002. And, we saw people talking about how they use medical marijuana and all this type of stuff, and it was inspirational, I guess. So I think that was a Saturday. So the whole rest of the evening and all the next day and into Monday, Christine was just sort of sitting on the balcony, looking very thoughtful. And so finally I said, what's got you so quiet? And she says, I think I want to quit all my pharmaceuticals and just start using cannabis. And, we explained, I said, well, if we do that, then we have to become public activists, like these people out in BC and these people in Toronto, because otherwise we just look like potheads, and the cops aren't going to buy that, and the public's not going to buy it. So she says, yeah, I know. So I said, and if we're going to be public activists, we have to really change our lifestyle. We have to have a lifestyle that's above reproach, which, isn't too hard in North America, because almost everybody has a lifestyle that's, detrimental to their health in some degree. So we just cleaned up our diets, and we started using cannabis, and we stopped using the pharmaceuticals we were using. And then that summer we read the Emperor Wears No Clothes, and we just haven't stopped being pissed off since. So
it's you hear the same stories, not the same stories. Everybody's stories are different. I'm trying to choose the right words, as you can tell.
Similar stories.
Yeah, you hear similar stories over and over. I've heard similar stories for the last 8 years doing this, and it in a lot of cases, a lot of the making you feel and hate internally comes from the medical practitioners who don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we've been really lucky in that regard.
Well, that's
Wait,
good.
so you said the key word there, medical practitioner, meaning medical practice.
Yes.
Meaning they try shit until they find something that works. That's all it is. It's practicing. It's kind of like law practice. They practice stuff until something works.
When I met my doctor, I went in the summer of 1999, and I was 230 pounds of yellow, bloated, bad news. I stank. Even like right out of the shower, I still stank. And I was basically living on codeine and Tylenol and Coca-Cola and white bread and peanut butter. And I told her, look, I'm a drug addict and an alcoholic. And I'm not using any street drugs, just these pills. And I've had a problem with alcohol. And if I come in here asking for a bunch of painkillers and shit like that, it's probably a hustle. But I probably won't, because what I want to do is go toward like this health food and yoga and medical marijuana, but I just can't do it. I'm just too weak. I'm in too much pain. I'm too exhausted all the time, and this is where we're starting from. So when I met her, this is what I was, telling her right from the stretch. This is what I wanted to do. So, she was cool with it. And then it was a couple of years later, like I got involved with Christine in 2001. And then she met her doctor, who's in the same office. They work together and everything around that same time, 2001, early 2002. So, she got signed for ODSP, and we sort of just went from there. Yeah. It wasn't until 2002 that we really decided that, we're going to get right into this. We didn't realize there was an activism community. We didn't realize that there was all these court cases. We didn't really know about Parker and Hitzig at that point. I don't think Hitzig had just happened, so all of this was kind of new for us, and that's how we got involved, And then as soon as Christine started using cannabis in 2002, her seizures dropped right off.
I went 276 days without an actual seizure or anything.
That was later on.
Wonderful.
That was later on.
I bet it was wonderful. I bet.
Yeah. Well, that was the first half of 2002. She had something like 60 seizures, big, small, cataplexy attacks, all kinds of stuff. So just by May, right, by the beginning of May, she'd had 60. So she stops using she weans off of her pills gradually, like over 3 weeks or something, so she doesn't go into shock. And
that's really important. I got to stress that. You got
to be careful. You can't just cold turkey off of anticonvulsants, man. That's dangerous.
I have a friend who is, just a quick story. I have a friend who's been put on Topamax for seizures. And she also goes for pain blockers and all that crap. But anyways, and she had problems with her doctor. The doctor wasn't getting back to the pharmacist. She went almost a month without her Topamax after being on it for almost a year, and she went fucking loopy. She's just been on it again since December, and she's the miserable bitch that happens when your body's getting used to all these medications again, because I hear over and over and over again the same story. There are many people out there that shouldn't be on that stuff at all. There are some that it works for.
Well, the thing for some people, it'll work.
That's right. Yes.
It'll stop the seizures, and then they just have to live with the side effects, which are better than having seizures.
But for others, it's a Band-Aid, and it's not working.
Yeah. In Christine's case, it's even worse. It exacerbates the symptoms. She has more seizures with pills than she would have with nothing. Yeah. You see?
Yeah.
So that's the thing. She has, and the doctors have explained this to her. Well, I'll get back to the story anyway. She started using cannabis in 2002, May, and her seizures dropped right off. She only had 13 episodes the rest of the year.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
All through May, June, July, August, and December. So the following year, I think it was 9. That's 2003. 2004, she had 5. I think 2005, she had 3 seizures. And then in 2006, it was only like 1 or 2. So this is where the whole big long periods of time, 176 days, 276 days, 187 days, this kind of range, where she had 3 long periods of time with no seizure activity, and then she'd have one. So then on March 8th, 2000, March 24, 2008. She has 3 seizures, one right after the other in the morning. I call 911. Ambulance comes. They shoot her full of Ativan and then Dilantin.
Yep.
She hasn't been the same since.
Ativan, that wonderful thing that they give you when you walk in to emergency now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, they were about to shoot her full with a low dose of Dilantin.
Oh, God.
She's already got the Ativan in her, and she's still kicking. And they said, well, okay, give her a low dose of Dilantin. I said, yeah, you better get the paddles ready. So what do you mean? I said, well, she has an odd propensity for, like, dying, so you might want to, like, fire up the paddles and have those ready, because she's been dead twice already. And I pointed at the computer screen and said, check her goddamn records before you start filling her with drugs. She has a rare form of epilepsy, and she's using medical marijuana for it. And everybody in the ER, their whole countenance just changed. Like, oh, shit, okay, what do we do? And they're all looking at each other like, this is complicated.
Yeah, it's funny how
first
that
they were all,
happens.
like, routine, like, okay, it's a seizure, whatever.
Yeah.
And, you know, she's still having seizures and pissing all over the place and stuff, so they're sticking a catheter in her. They're they're putting a tube down her nose so she can breathe, like a big rubber tube. They're taking a big needle and going into the arm for artery blood, so they can see how much oxygen she's got in her blood, in her artery blood, and all this type of stuff. And I thought she was going to die. I'm standing there in the ER thinking, this is it. This is the day that we've been waiting for and staving off for years now. She's going to die right here in front of me. This is it. It's over.
Yeah.
But she didn't die. She had about 7 more seizures that day, and they put her in a CT scan and checked her out, and they didn't see anything new damage or stroke or aneurysm or anything like that. So he wanted to take her to another hospital. I said no, because I said she was been doing so much better with our food and our medicine at home. We live 10 minutes away. You're not taking her all the way across town to the general, where you're going to shoot her full of more drugs and she's going to die. So he signs her out. I bring her home, and I've been taking care of her pretty much ever since. Don't leave her alone for more than 15, 20 minutes.
I kind of feel sorry for Christine.
Yeah, it's hard for her because I'm a difficult person to live with.
Yeah.
So am I. I'm not an easy person either.
I know this too, though. I know I'm difficult. Like I'm sort of like irritable. So I don't snarl at her. Like I'm not abrupt with her too often, but I'll swear at the computer.
Yep.
You hit a website and the thing starts to beach ball. It's not coming. You're like, oh, come on, fuck.
Yep.
And I'm doing stuff. I'm always blurting stuff like this out because I'm sort of short-tempered. But I just let it all out in these little farts of anger, and then it doesn't build up, so I don't have these big explosions of anger.
Yeah.
Right.
I did have an anger management. I went to an anger management thing for months back in the 90s.
Did you really?
When I was having some anger issues.
Did it work?
Yeah, I was going to ask.
Well, yeah, it did. It's just, but I have a life that's very stimulating and anger-inducing, so I have to do the things that I need to do to cope with it as it hits me. And a lot of times it's sort of you throw your head back, close your eyes, and just sigh really hard. Stuff like that.
Oh, I agree. If you hold it back, it just gets worse later.
Yeah, so I'll swear and tap the mouse really hard, and it's little things like that. But it's irritating and stressful for a person who's just trying to chill and have her medicine and not have fucking seizures, right?
Yeah.
And then for me, I can't relax because every time I turn around, it's like, you okay over there? Yeah, I'm fine. You okay over there? Like every 2 minutes, right? You okay? Yeah, fine. You all right there? Yeah, fine. Doing okay? Yeah, I'm fine. And then all of a sudden, I'll say, you doing okay there? And she'll just be blinking and staring straight off ahead and drooling. So I got to take the dabbing pen, stick that in her mouth, and then say, pull, like this at her, and I'm making this so if if she has any kind of comprehension left, she can sort of understand what I'm saying.
Right.
And then
I have a habit of biting.
Yeah, most times she manages to get enough dab into her that she comes back pretty quick.
Hey, have you tried doing your oil mixture sublingually during the seizure? Just stick some under her tongue.
Well, no, you can't do anything with her tongue, man. I'm not sticking my friggin' hands in her mouth.
Oh, she just said she bites a lot.
Russell.
Well, that's it. I mean, she's chewing, right? Yeah. So I have to basically put it in her lips and stuff. And
that would still work.
Yeah, but sometimes what I'll do is we have some tincture. But the thing about dabbing is a giant dose all at once.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but so that's why. I mean, I'm not gonna sit there with the torch and the bong, right? So we have one of these 2-hoot pens.
We were talking about dabbing last week.
Yeah, it's the best. So we don't dab all the time. We save the dab for when she goes into a twitch out.
So that's a good idea. Now, Christine, do you have triggers?
It's harder for us to get dab than it is to get bud and shake and all this kind of stuff.
So
right?
we save it for
So we save it
only
just for that,
emergencies.
right? Because it's it's an important thing. Because it's not about getting high; it's about alleviating the symptoms, and you sort of have to prioritize, right? Yeah. So in our house, we have shake that we have simmered into sunflower oil. So we've got liters of sunflower oil. That's about 1 gram per 10 milliliters. She eats that in the morning and the night. Has 30 mils in the morning, 30 mils at night. She uses the volcano all during the day with just bud going through it. She'll go through about
2 grams.
1.5 grams, maybe 2 grams during the course of a day. We'll smoke a little bit of hash once or twice a day. Just to,
what do you find that hash does different for you than oil or pot or cookies, whatever?
For myself personally, I've had a bit of problems with asthma, especially when I was overweight and on anticonvulsants and other pharmaceuticals. And so for myself, I find that if I'm using hash, for example, I find it, if I'm using it maybe in the 2-hoop pen, in the dry bong. Yeah, in the dry bong, it will help with that and alleviate that. It clears out my lungs and such. And but also, if I have had a seizure, it might help alleviate some maybe a bit of migraine symptom or maybe a bit of physical symptom where I've dislocated myself. And so I find that certain mediums of cannabis alleviate certain symptoms and certain.
It's kind of like musical instruments, right? Yeah. If you've got a song that only requires bass, guitar, drums, and voice, well, that's easy to put together. But if you've written an orchestral piece with 80 pieces, well, Christine has an orchestra of symptoms going on. So the oral dosing of sunflower oil seems to handle all the low end stuff, right? Yeah. The sort of the big strings and basses and
So that's why
I like the way you put that.
Yeah, with the hash though, it's weird because the volcano doesn't seem to break up the asthma quite the way smoke does, and neither of us like to smoke. Neither of us are we don't use tobacco. We don't like smokers. We're not smokers. We grew up around tobacco users and it pisses us off, so we don't like to smoke. It's always coughing, it's hard on your throat, but it seems to clear out the lungs better than the volcano does. And Christine, like she said, with her migraines and stuff like that. With me in asthma, if I'm having an asthma attack, which are getting pretty rare now, it has to be smoke. I have to have smoked cannabis or hashish.
Right, you got to get a joint into you right away.
Oh yeah, and
I've seen other people the same way with an asthma attack.
Yeah.
Hand them a joint right away, and the capillaries open their lungs, and they calm down, and they breathe again.
I nearly blacked out back in 2012. On Easter Sunday, we were out for a walk. It was nice and warm here in Ottawa, anyway. And I started having this just crazy asthma attack. And I get short of breath sometimes, a little bit of asthma. You're like, all right, I can cope. But this is like I was really having a lot of trouble. So we got to this area where away from the traffic and stuff. And I got my lighter out. I'm trying to light a joint, and it won't fucking light because of the wind.
It's one of those Bic lighters.
Just a regular Bic lighter, And the fade was starting to happen. I could actually feel myself starting to black out. Where everything starts to sort of move away from you.
Yep.
I just got it lit, just get the inhale into my lungs, and I fall back on the grass, just lying there smoking this joint, breathing again. And then when I pull myself together, I actually started weeping a little bit. And I told Kristen, I said, that was really scary, man. I thought I was going to black out. I nearly passed out there. She's like, I know, I was watching.
We're buying you a proper lighter.
She's buying you a goddamn lighter. So we went and we got one of these $90 camping lighters from Windmill. The fucking thing works underwater, I think.
Oh, perfect.
You push the button and a little blue flame comes out about an inch high. And, it's just, it lights. So it's easily refillable. It's a good size. It's easy to carry around. So we always have, now we have the dabbing pen with us mostly. So we use that.
I have
I haven't had an asthma attack in a while. So
I have a vapor tower that I use daily. And, it's just, you're just sucking air through the coil
Yeah.
kind of thing. And I have a pen as well, but I haven't figured out how to just use it. It's time consuming to do this, and you got to pack it right or it doesn't work, and so you kind of give up on it. Now I think we've been yapping here for half an hour. I think we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back with some more conversation with Russell and Christine, and I'm going to watch Christine's video and probably cry or something. So.
Cool.
Okay. Alrighty. We'll catch up with you in a minute.
Yep, this is the 420 Radio Show. We will be back in a couple of minutes. We're going to listen to one of the songs that I like. It's the Hemp Can Save the World, Nutivia Elevation Solution Series. And we'll be back. Nutivia Elevation.
Imagine a world we could live in. These seeds in the minds of our children. These trees and grow a solution. Hemp can heal the world. Imagine a world we could live in. These seeds in the minds of our children. These trees and grow a solution. Hemp can save the world.
George Washington grew hemp. Even the Declaration of Independence was made on hemp paper. Thomas Jefferson at hemp fields. Let me tell you all the things organically grown hemp yields. Jack Herring tried to tell us the news. We can even use the seeds to improve our food. Build homes in the future made straight from hemp. No heat bill cost, so we stay home rent.
Wheel in the mix, hemp shirt, hemp kicks. Keep my gear earth conscious, let's go down the list. Its fibers are the strongest, products last the longest. Change your whole infrastructure, hemp will never wrong us. Obviously, it's the plant that can raise our whole economy if we open our minds to see. Build your house insulated organically. That's real talk, homie, that's no fantasy.
Plant the seed, we got a world to feed. Grow hemp everywhere, all the food you could ever need. Oil, fiber, medicine, and paper. Banning cannabis was the world's biggest caper. Strong, durable, long-lasting, natural, renewable, botanical, growing every annual. Hemp can save the planet, all you gotta do is plant it. Wanna see it growing up from the cracks in the granite.
Feed the children. Imagine a world. No pollution. Imagine a world. Clean solution. Imagine a world. Hemp can heal the world. Imagine a world.
No more hunger.
Imagine a world.
Love each other.
Imagine a world.
We grow stronger.
Imagine a world. Hemp can save the world.
Let's take it back to 10G BC. World's oldest relic hemp brought from the Chinese. Over 50,000 uses, you see, like the fuel and steel that made hemp before Model T. Greeks, Phoenicians, high priests and priestesses from Asia to America. Hemp sailed the high seas. $1 billion cash crop, can't stop, won't stop. Flip the greenhouse effect, the atmosphere is hot. Hat, shirt, pants, all made from hemp. Even the shoes on my feet saying eco fresh. Raw food be the movement, I eat the seeds. Great source of protein and omega-3. It's the most nutritious, plus so delicious. Put it in my vitamin, or in my green smoothie. We was given every seed, bearing planet Earth. Genesis 1, 2, 9, shake the earth.
Growing truth field of dreams, tall and green. This one crop can be used for everything. Hemp milk, have a sip, taste buds, feel the bliss. Get a hemp notepad, take notes for this. Regenerate the earth and create new work. Build your karma points in your network. Freely I support him, listen for the quote. Keep it cool like Dr. Bronner's peppermint soap.
Imagine a world we could live in. These seeds in the minds of our children. These trees and grow a solution. Hemp can heal the world. Imagine a world we could live in. These seeds in the minds of our children. These trees and grow a solution. Hemp can save the world.
Peanut
What?
butter. Say that again. Peanut butter what?
Peanut butter fudge covered in dark chocolate into a chocolate bar. But if you eat a whole one, you end up falling asleep, so it's not worth it.
It happens with edibles. Yeah. Do you folks use edibles? We are back on the air, by the way. Do you folks use edibles on a regular basis?
No, we just use the sunflower oil. We don't eat white flour. We don't eat dairy.
Don't eat chocolate.
We don't eat chocolate. She doesn't eat eggs.
We don't eat refined sugar.
Yeah. So there's there's really not much we can make out of edibles, so we just simmer all of our shake into the oil, and we just.
I'd invite you over for dinner, but I wouldn't know what to feed you.
I was going to say.
Well, we wouldn't be eating the same thing.
What do you eat? Wheat
well, we eat a lot of rice, and we eat a lot of legumes.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, I
beans and
love
stuff.
rice.
Chickens.
Specifically brown rice. It's long, short, and basmati grain that we eat.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of vegetables. Most of our diet is hypoallergenic, yeast-free, sugar-free, gluten-free, etc., etc. Basically boring.
Yeah, most of the stuff we buy is just sort of ingredients. You know, we buy the spices, we get rice, we get meat, we get legumes, we get vegetables, and then we do the stuff ourselves. We don't sort of buy products, things that are made like, well, there's rice cakes. That's about the only product we have. Everything else is basically the ingredients for things. So.
Yeah, that's all I do is I buy the ingredients, or we buy the ingredients, and I turn them into delicious meals.
I just go out and get a bag
of
healthy
meals.
I go out and get a.
I used to treat my body like a garbage can at an amusement park.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I used to eat. I was
do.
a shameless, vulgar eater of. I mean, I was drinking 9 cans of Coke a day. I was living on Betty bread, like Texas toast, peanut butter, this kind of stuff.
Myself personally, I used to be bulimic, so I used to be at one point in time 325 pounds, and at my worst weight when I met up with Russell, I think I was about 220, maybe 230 pounds.
Yeah.
So
I'm on my way down from over 500 pounds. I'm down to about 280, 290.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it took me 20 years to
flatty
get up
160
there.
now. So
It took me 20 years to get up there and 20
diet.
years to get down. The what?
The MS diet.
The MS diet, yeah.
Yeah, I lost 100 pounds in 3 months. My intestines closed up, so I couldn't eat anymore. So it was a great way to lose weight, but I wouldn't recommend it for other people.
No, I got diabetes. That's how I did it.
I put on 30 pounds in a few months or whatever when I started taking a pharmaceutical mood stabilizer. I just started piling the weight on, man. I got so fat.
Yeah.
And the heaviest I was that I was measured was 230. So that was pretty startling for me because I've always been sort of Mick Jagger skinny.
Yeah. I noticed
all through high school, all through school, like pretty much as soon as I stood up as a baby up until I was
Beanpole.
25, 26, 27, I was thin.
Yeah, I was thin until I hit my teens, and then I went off Ritalin and Dexedrine, started eating and getting high and drinking.
I've never been called skinny in my entire life, so
wow.
I don't have that issue.
No. Anticonvulsants also cause a little bit of a problem as well because they also affect your appetite. And I found that they completely shut down my stomach, so I found it very difficult to eat. And they also shut down your kidneys, so they basically stop functioning properly, so you start basically filling up with fluid and such. So
Christine had a lot of problems with the pharmaceuticals. I mean, she tried all of them, and this is why the neurologist, this is back in the days when you needed a specialist to sign MMAR. So she had a neurologist sign for her, and he kept renewing it, and he was pretty happy with, sort of the few grams a day she was doing, and he was really happy. And then she had this bad problem, started having a lot more seizures. We asked for an increase. He's like, yeah, it's too much paperwork for me. He just scrawls a note, too much paperwork. So we don't talk to him anymore. But her GP was willing to sign for 12, so
I got 12.
But, this is the thing. In our activism work, we get phone calls or emails from people who are like, yeah, I saw you on TV or I heard about you online or whatever. Can you help me find a doctor? Can you get me signed or what do I do?
Yeah.
And I always point out to people sort of rhetorically, well, if you're, really fat and you're living on junk food or you're drinking a lot of coffee or you're smoking cigarettes or you're doing any kind of crap that you shouldn't be doing to yourself that's exacerbating your symptoms, then no doctor in this country is under any ethical obligation to sign you a pot license, man.
That's right.
You got to go in there and prove that you're willing to buckle down and change your health and lifestyle, and that you want them to help you with it. So
that's
and
exactly
that's
what I did.
Well, that's what we did. That's what we did, and it was in conjunction with changing the diet and dealing with the doctors and all this kind of stuff that, you know, we sort of earned it from them. Because, I mean, a doctor's always going to be skeptical about stuff like this. But in our case, we have doctors that are intelligent and compassionate, informed, and trusting enough.
Well,
to let us do what we need to do.
I've got a doctor like that, but I had to go through a lot of them before I got to him.
Yeah.
Oh, same here. Trust me.
Oh yeah, she's got all kinds of horrible doctors doing stuff.
I've come from a small town with a couple of podunk doctors and dentists, so I've gone through the grill on dental and medical horrors in some cases.
Yeah, but
I'm not allowed on the property for the MS clinic in Nova Scotia.
What really sucks though is when I unfortunately got netted up in that cameraman's thing. And when you fight and fight and fight to find a doctor that's going to help you, and then you get the help that you think that is going to help you, but then it turns around and you're involved in an investigation, and your license actually becomes null and void, and you're right back where you fucking started from. And I know many patients more often than not say, fuck that, I'll just go and get it from the guy down the road like I've been doing it all my fucking life.
Yeah, but see, we weren't in a position to really afford that. So.
Yeah, I see, but that's what I'm getting at. Neither, I'm on disability, I'm living in housing, neither am I. And neither are how many other hundreds of thousands of Canadians.
Yeah.
Pick me.
Pick me, pick me.
So it's been, the whole thing's harrowing, and it's hard enough just trying to live with this epilepsy and everything. And
financial,
and then have all the added
legal shit too. Was that?
And then have all the added stress of court battles and worrying about going to jail for making a tincture that'll save your life.
Yeah. Well, see, that's why we're not worried about going to jail. I mean, we're at this point, we're not so much worried about a judge actually convicting us on anything. I mean, this is pretty fucking. We're well established as medical users.
Well, that's
what we are worried about
people,
is getting busted, our shit getting taken away. We don't have any meds. We got to go to our friends. Her having seizures. Us ending up in fucking, in the cage for a weekend or whatever.
Yeah, because of course they do that on a Friday night. So
and this is the thing. And the Ottawa police are scumbags. They're off leash. The Innis Road fucking holding is one of the worst dungeons in the whole country. It's a notorious shithole. And so this is the stuff we worry about. And we've tried to reach out to the police, and they're kind of just scoffing about it. So fuck these clowns. I'm going to be putting a video up pretty soon where it's an open letter to the Ottawa Police Service explaining a number of things to them. One, if they come and talk to us in public and try to stop her from having her meds or me having meds, we're going to consider it attempted murder. Right? We're going to press criminal charges for attempted murder.
Actually, there is a criminal charge.
Then there's Section 262 of the Criminal Code.
Yes, that one.
There's that one too.
What is that? What does it say? I've never heard of it.
I'm going to tell them that. I'm going to explain all this politely and gently, of course.
Okay.
I'm not going to be goading them. I'm saying, listen, this is the way it is. I'm working as a caregiver. I'm as a patient. She's a patient. This is who we are. You want to do your job? You want to go bust people for pot and Vanya? You go fucking do that. But if you see us in public, you stay the hell away. Because it's going to cost you $100 a minute just to talk to us. Actually, $200 a minute. $100 each.
There you go. Al, just to jump in.
Yeah.
The Criminal Code of Canada has under Section 262, everyone who, A, prevents or impedes or attempts to prevent or impede any person who is attempting to save his own life, or B, without reasonable cause, prevents or impedes or attempts to prevent or impede any person who is attempting to save the life of another person is guilty of an indictable offense and liable to imprison him for a term not exceeding 10 years.
Wow. Yeah. Can you post that on our page, please, Marcel?
I can.
Or a version of it?
No, I can post the actual thing from the Justice Law's website.
Because you've got access to post as a page now, so you can do that. Yeah.
So that's the thing. I mean, I've already tweeted that shit to the cops, letting them know that if they come near us, they're basically violating, because all of our pot use is in an effort to save our lives. Christine's case, it's epilepsy. In my case, it's so I don't drink myself to death.
Well, I mean, it does. See, when it becomes medical, like I've had this. My father's a physician, although he suffers from Parkinson's and he's in a home and he won't touch cannabis. We won't even go there. I asked him flat out because I was having a hard time finding a doctor and I was worried about getting busted and stuff like that. And I said, is it true, Dad, that when it comes to your medical health, your doctor is even way above the court system? And he just looked at me and said, yes. Flat out. Nothing else, just yes.
Well, and that's why back in May, when we decided we weren't going to sign on to MMPR, because we can't afford it or whatever, we sent a letter to our doctors and stuff, and we said, listen, if you guys want to drop us as patients, we understand. We don't want to put your licenses in jeopardy. There'll be no complaints, no repercussions, no hard feelings. Yep. You've been great, but this is we're at a crossroads now. So if you want to walk away, that's fine. And they didn't. They didn't drop us. So that's pretty lucky too.
Now, what about health insurance and stuff like that? Have you had issues
we're just
with that?
We're on Ontario disability support.
Okay,
the Ontario government won't touch this.
No, that's right. No, I mean I am as well, and I know that. But what I'm getting at is, what about later in life with health issues and stuff like that?
Life insurance is going to be like already the rates for me as an epileptic are completely out of the roof.
Yeah.
So
we try to get insurance and stuff, and it's they're like, oh yeah, you can get insurance, but the premiums are kind of high, and for what? They probably won't even pay out anyway.
A friend of mine many years
ago. It's not like I need a life insurance policy, because I'm telling you, if Christine dies from one of her seizures, she's not even going to cool off before I'm right behind her.
Yeah.
There's nothing keeping me on this planet except Christine at this point. I mean, I love my friends and everything, and I'm really happy with the friends that I have, and I'm not suicidal by any stretch, but I'm done. I've had enough. I'm 40. I'm almost 46 now, and the past 12 years, we've been together 14 years, and it's been really harrowing. And so I'm just. This is why I'm not writing letters much anymore, and I want to get back at it. I mean, if I can get my full dose, I won't feel so bad. If I can get my full dose, I can start working out again. I can start getting into really good shape, because I know what I'm capable of.
It sucks to
what's
have
available
to
in terms
yourself.
of recovery ahead of me.
It sucks to have to limit yourself on your medicine just so that you can get through the day, and unfortunately, I do that every day.
Yeah.
I'm getting maybe a half an ounce a month for myself, and then a jar of butter, and I stretch that as long as I can, which is about a week. And then
just so you know, listeners, Al does take donations.
Yes, I do.
Just to survive.
But that's not what I'm getting at. I mean,
that's what I'm trying to push for you.
It's not just me. It's happening. I know a handful of other people that are in the same boat, and we're lumped in a group as being disabled, and when you're disabled, the government's supposed to look after you, but yet when it comes to cannabis, it's fuck you.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, what I've found is basically once you become disabled, the government throws you under the bus.
Yep.
I have been how I feel right now in my
and your insurance isn't going to cover your cost of cannabis anyway.
Of course not. But you see, that's how I feel as well, Marcel. I lost my house, lost my girl, lost my car, ended up on a couch, and now I'm in a cage in Ontario housing on disability, surviving on less than $1,000 a month, and I'm supposed to eat, feed my dog, and get my medicine, clothes, and pay my rent.
Yeah.
And the Ontario government takes care of me, takes care of their Canadian citizens.
They do a wonderful job.
They do a bang-up job. Now, if I didn't have to pay for my
Meanwhile,
cannabis...
they just spent $7 million on ads that are nothing but utter bullshit, telling people that pot's dangerous.
And they could be throwing
I kind of applaud those ads, though.
Hold on a sec, guys. They could be throwing me and the thousands of other Canadians who are in my boat on disability for whatever reason. They could be taking that money and giving us, $100 towards our medicine even would help.
Oh, yeah.
A tax break.
But they don't want to admit that it's a medicine.
That's right.
Exactly.
Now, why would you applaud those ads? I mean, you would have to be.
Because here's what. Let me tell you. Let me tell you why I applaud those ads. Those ads are so over the top and hyperbolic that anybody watching them is going to look at them and go, "This is bullshit." I mean, you could have easily made an ad where someone says, some kid says to another kid, hey, man, like, you shouldn't be smoking pot. You don't know who grew it, where it's from. We don't know all about blah, blah. They could have made something a lot more subtle. But instead, they made something outrageous and nonsensical. And I think that most people who see that ad, most parents are going to resent that their tax dollars are being spent on this bullshit propaganda instead of... Let me finish this, man. They're going to resent that this money's being spent on bullshit propaganda instead of better education, better health care, better rehab, and better job opportunities so that their fucking teenager can get out of the house before he turns 27. Stuff like that. Meanwhile, they're gonna, they're gonna be sitting there at dinner watching this on the news, see this ad come up on the TV. They're gonna pull their phones out. They're gonna flip through and say, "This is bullshit. Look, here's an ad here's the thing about how as a kid with epilepsy is using marijuana. It's perfectly safe. Here's a guy who cured his cancer with marijuana. It's perfectly safe." So this is going to get more people talking about how stupid the prohibitionist attitude really is. This is one of the best things to happen to the legalization movement in Canada in 10 years.
Do you know who votes for conservatives?
Racists, homophobes.
The majority? This has always been a conservative ploy.
Oh, yeah.
The conservatives push the agenda of crime and how they're going to lower crime and increase prison
Meanwhile,
terms.
they're all doing cocaine and going to whorehouses.
But they're presenting it to the old folks' home.
Yeah.
It's all the senior citizens. So what they do
that's
is they
their base. I mean, that's the thing is that base is going to vote conservative no matter what, right?
Right.
So this is why I applaud the ads, is because younger people, if they're going to be inclined to vote at all, they're going to see those ads and they're going to resent it. And it's going to make them want to go and vote and not vote conservative.
They make me sick every time I see
Hopefully
them.
that'll make them want to go out and vote. But right now, it's only the old people that go out and vote.
It makes me sick every time I see them. Every time.
Middle-aged people vote too.
Well, we have to now because...
But middle-aged people have kids. They have teenage kids. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, if we had a teenager, we saw this on TV, we would be pissed off. Oh, so yeah. This is why. We know that our kid has seen them. They're going to say, our kid's not going to believe this bullshit.
Our kid is smarter and more intelligent than that.
400 times the strength it used to be. That's nonsense,
My kid is way smarter than that.
Well, that's it. And this is why I pointed out. Kids today, people under 18 have more tech savvy than the people who designed this program, this advertising campaign. So they're going to look it all up. They're going to cross-reference. They're going to see this is bullshit.
You know what?
We couldn't listen. This ad has helped us. Didn't you see the thing it was in the Now or the Toronto Star or something? They interviewed a drug dealer, a pot dealer in Toronto. He says he can't keep up with demand.
Yeah,
it's like there's a Wiz Khalifa concert in town again.
Yeah.
Hello?
No, we're here. I'm just listening to you.
The kids can get cannabis easier now than it was when I was a kid.
No, it was really
demand
easy
now
to
because
get
of those
cannabis
ads. There's more demand.
But when I was a kid, I could get it anywhere.
Yep, anywhere on Yonge Street.
And now
anytime.
It's even more available to them. I don't care what they do with the laws, and really, it's not going to change. The kids are still going to have access to it. But my opinion is always let them.
Yeah.
Because if they get access to cannabis, they're not slicing up their arms with razor blades.
Yeah. Well, let's put it.
And the other thing is too, parents also have to realize that it's about spreading awareness. It's about educating your child, your children. And I also think too, in some cases, that some parents feel very intimidated at the fact of approaching even this topic with their child or children because of the fact that they themselves might not be very well experienced in the topic of discussion.
Or informed, exactly.
Or informed.
And this is why I'm really pretty happy about these ads, is because it's basically a recruiting campaign for our side.
Well, yeah.
And that's why, because it's so over the top that it looks like a joke. I mean, you've seen the ads, right? It looks like a joke.
It is a joke. Yeah, it is a joke.
And so this is it. So anybody who sees it goes, this is ridiculous. The only people who are going to buy that crap are people who are, forget it. We're never going to reach them anyway.
Hang on a second. No, that's not true, because you know what? The general public sees that every time it comes on, Russell. And that is confusing.
The general public, but the problem is, look,
the
general public,
the fuck out of a guy who's sitting on his couch and he's got some ailment that he's having a hard time dealing with, and he's heard cannabis is okay, and then they fucking see that shit and they cut themselves off.
That's the point, though. If they saw an ad that had any modicum of subtlety to it, they would say, maybe I shouldn't think about using cannabis. But then they see an ad like that, it looks like something off of the Rick Mercer report.
Not if that's all they know.
It looks like satire.
Not if that's
so they
all
look
they
at it
know.
and go, what? This can't be real. And then they go look it up.
But
and they find out that it's all bullshit.
But you're layman.
So now they're on our side.
You're layman.
Because not only do they find out the pot's good, they find out that they've just been lied to with their own money.
My mom's sitting at home. She sees that, 75 years old. She's been around pot all my life. I used to smell it when I was a kid. But she sees that, and she looks at me and goes, But she knows it works for me. But she doesn't. She hasn't seen all the videos. She's only seen and heard.
Well, you know what? We're never going to reach her anyway.
Let me finish.
We're never going to reach her anyway.
Let me finish,
But
please,
she's
Russell.
the one that votes.
Yes,
but she's the one who votes, but we're never going to reach her. Listen. There are people, the people over, let's say over 60, who vote conservative, okay, will vote conservative if the guy was campaigning with a severed head in his hands.
Oh, yeah, because
they would vote for a guy, if a guy says, listen, after I'm done talking to you people here at your home, I'm going to go outside to my limousine and fuck an 11-year-old boy in the ass while high on cocaine. They would still fucking vote for him because he's not the liberal.
Right.
Okay, that's how. There's 5 million people in Canada who will vote for Tories, whether they're a werewolf or a drunk or a criminal or indicted or whatever. They will never vote anything but conservative.
Now, Russell, hold on a second, guys.
People who are not informed about the political process.
Exactly. So we don't care about what they're going to do.
But
it doesn't matter.
We're not
the people we're trying to reach are the centrist and the people who most people under the age of 60 who see those stupid glass brain ads are going to laugh at it. They're going to resent it. They're going to think it's ridiculous. And it actually has done us a big favor because if it had any kind of subtlety to it at all, it would not have garnered the amount of attention and resentment and investigation that it has.
And what about the people who are over 60?
Glass-blowing artisans are very, very happy.
Yeah, well, that's
actually, I would love somebody to make one of those.
Can I get a word in X-Wise?
You have to go to a guy who makes neon.
Can I get a word in X-Wise? Yeah. What about the people over 60 who are amongst the majority of Canadians now, okay? What about those people who know nothing about the hippies in the 60s, all the drug dealers in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and now in 2015 it's legal. They know, they've heard it can help, they've seen it help, but yet they see a commercial like that, and because they're of the older generation, they don't see it like we see it. They see it as a, maybe they were right, because they've been listening to the propaganda all their lives. We haven't.
But now I'll throw this in.
Okay.
And to give you an example of how strong that propaganda is. My father was told by a doctor that the only thing keeping me alive was the cannabis I was using.
Okay. I heard that from a doctor as well.
Was a firm believer that all drugs are bad.
Uh-huh.
When we left, it was very quiet on the drive home until I said, how does it feel to find out that your government's been lying to you for all these years? Do you know what his response was? They didn't lie to me. They were misinformed.
Yeah.
All right. So he still wouldn't accept the fact that his government has been lying to him in all these years. And played it off as, well, they didn't get the right information.
And they're still not
had the right information for,
and those commercials are not the right information either, though.
Pardon me?
So those commercials that we're seeing now are not the right information either, and they're confusing other people. Right?
Oh, yeah.
I think we just lost Russell.
Did we lose Russell again?
I think we lost Russell again.
Oh, I hate when that happens. Yeah. Maybe Russell will come back.
There he is. He's back.
Maybe when Russell comes back, we'll talk about the other educational stuff.
Can you hear me?
I hear you now.
Hello?
Yeah, what happened?
Harper didn't like what you said about him.
Yeah.
I guess.
You were talking about the conservatives, and Big Brother shut you down for a minute.
Well, where did I leave off?
I don't know.
I don't know, but I'm going to shamelessly plug your book now because I love this book.
Okay. You shouldn't use Google for this, man. This is no good. It cuts out and it's...
Our listeners
Hello?
are saying that they hear you perfectly fine.
All our listeners are telling
You know, I
me
hear
that
you
sounds
guys,
good.
but then my mic just stopped. I mean, my mic is lit up. I didn't touch anything or do anything,
Don't
and
worry
then
about
suddenly I'm not in the mix anymore.
Okay, but you're back. You came back, and it's all good now.
Yeah, I had to shut it down and start it over again.
Yeah, I have to do that sometimes too. Yeah.
No wonder people don't use this.
We use this. It works fine.
Yeah, I know, but there's like compare the like 1.5 billion users on Facebook.
But you're on a Mac.
500 million users of Skype, and then the like 1,100 people who use Google Plus. Yeah, pretty much.
Anyway,
MySpace, see what's happening there.
Guys,
it's because you're using a Mac.
I've got don't even. I love Macs. I've got this video loaded up, Christine's video, and it's 3 minutes and 30 seconds, and I'm going to watch as much as I can. So I'm going to let it play. You will hear the audio, but I'm going to ask you, Marcel, if you wouldn't mind posting the video on our page
as well.
And then it should go to our Twitter as well, I hope. And if it doesn't, then I'll post it, because I'm going to just shut up and watch it now. We can listen.
Hi there, my name is Christine Lowe, and you
Keep
might
it up.
recognize me from seizure footage which has appeared on YouTube. Since January 2007 until now, September 8th, 2007, we've just had a little over 100,000 hits on our site. We would like to thank you for your kind words and encouragement and support. We have also left some derisive comments, basically to let ignorance speak for itself.
Can you still hear us?
Yep.
We've also had some personal requests to see raw footage.
I
of
don't
seizure
hear the
without
video
any
either.
text in front of that,
So I'm not even
and we
sure
would
if the
like to
video is
provide
playing.
that for you now.
Hopefully they don't have dead air. But if they have dead air, then we're going to break it up with...
Can you hear me?
I hear you fine.
Okay, good.
We can hear you, and you're talking over the video. So hush. Can you hear me now? Yeah? You should have heard the video. It might be because you don't have YouTube on.
Yeah, I don't have
So I'm
YouTube
gonna
on and I can't hear it, so just
click
hang
it
on.
back on here.
Okay, come here, David.
And our listeners are only listening to dead air.
Take the camera. Well, we're not supposed to talk over while he's trying to watch the video.
They can hear the video. They can hear the audio.
Explain what's happening, Russell.
They can hear the audio, guys.
For some reason, she's had 2 in one day, which is really unusual. And she's going into convulsions right now. Okay, and this is what usually happens. See, she's blue. See her face? Because she's not really breathing. I gotta let her finish this off. There she goes. Okay, and this has lasted about 30 seconds or so. Now she's going to jump out. You're going to step back a little bit. Don't zoom in. Okay, stay wide. Because she's going to get up and she's going to be. How we doing? Crazy. She's going to be really enthusiastic about leaving. Come on, breathe. Hello?
I'm here. They're still listening to the video. Or it's quiet at one point, so...
She's all right, and I'm okay. I'm not panicking. I'm panicking because I wanted to get this on film. Get in close here. Come in down here. Eyes are rolled back. Lips are blue.
Okay, we can talk while this is going. I'm just holding the button down and watching it while we're talking. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay. Okay. So
what do you think?
Well, where it's at is your face is on the couch. And you're just starting to come out of it. And now you're starting again.
Over here. Get in her face. Get in her face. It's okay, Christine. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Stop. Take it easy. Take it easy. Take it easy. Shh. Shh. Hey. Up on the couch. Ow. It's okay.
It's very uncontrollable, hey? You guys can talk, you know.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm getting the link into the Facebook group.
Oh, okay.
Don't kick. It's okay.
Okay. That's very hard to watch. Now, explain to me how long it takes when something like that is going on when you have medicine, and how long it takes to stop, if you don't mind. Anybody there?
And I don't hear either of them. I'm hoping they'll answer us.
You don't know what's going on. Hello, guys. It says their mic is muted. Okay, we're going to listen to a song, and we'll come back as soon as we can. We're going to listen to some Bo Porter, Mexican Lettuce. This is the 420 Radio Show. We're live on lifestyleradio.net. Come on in the chat room. Say hello.
This is Bubbles from the trailer park, and they're playing some fucking excellent music on lifestyleradio.ca. I hope I didn't sound too nervous there.
Please hang up and try again.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
Mexican lettuce makes me feel so fine. I like it with a little sangria wine. Keep your tequila and your whiskey too. Oh, Mexican lettuce, I love you. I twisted up a fatty just the other day. In no time at all, I was miles away. Drifting along over some little place. I think it was New Braunfels with a smile on my face. Mexican lettuce makes me feel so fine. I like it with a little sangria wine. Keep your tequila and your whiskey too. Oh, Mexican lettuce, I love you. Mexican lettuce ain't real hard to find. I usually get it from a good friend of mine. But if you're making a trip to the Mexican border, would you mind picking up a little thing that I ordered now? Mexican lettuce makes me feel so fine. I like it with a little sangria wine. Keep your tequila and your whiskey too. Oh, Mexican lettuce, I love you. Go now. In some cellophane, had no way to smoke it, man, that was lame. I wanted this little piece of bud in my hand, so I dented and poked a hole in a can. Mexican lettuce makes me feel so fine. I like it with a little sangria wine. Keep your tequila and your whiskey too. Oh, Mexican lettuce, I love you. Go now. Lettuce makes me feel so fine. I like it with a little sangria wine. Keep your tequila and your whiskey too. Oh, Mexican lettuce, I love you. Go now. Lettuce makes me feel so fine. I like it with a little sangria wine. Keep your tequila and your whiskey too. Oh, Mexican lettuce, I love you. Oh, Mexican lettuce, I love
We're back with Russell Barth and his wife, Christine
When
Lowe.
we left off, you asked about what happens during a seizure and how long they take and stuff.
Yep. And
so here's the thing.
Now you can answer.
When I notice that she starts to have some seizure-like symptoms, it usually consists of her sort of staring or blinking and sort of making a chewing motion with her face.
Okay.
Muscles around her chin and cheeks sort of tense up a little. And I can tell by these sort of subtle changes in her face that she's going into one. Now, if I can get some medicine into her in time, like from the dabbing pen, then she might come out of it and she'll be talking normally again in 15 minutes. Where she can quickly respond to questions like, what's your name, what's my name, what's our address, and she can do it without hesitation and without mistakes. If she goes into a convulsive seizure, how it usually goes is she'll turn her head hard to the right and let out a weird groan like she's being squeezed out of air. She'll violently convulse for about 90 seconds, and then she sort of lays there going for about another 90 seconds, and then she gets up and tries to move around. Her eyes come open wide, and she starts to thrash about, like you see in the video. Thing is, now she hasn't got anywhere near the strength that she used to have, so her thrashing about is nowhere near as much trouble as it used to be. She doesn't, sort of knock stuff around. I can keep her on the couch or keep her on the bed when she goes into one.
But that's also showing the weakness of the physical...
Yeah, that she's worn out by all, a lifetime of seizures. So that takes, she flops around for another 2-3 minutes, 4 minutes. She can go, the whole thing, she's deprived of air for anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes, where she's not really getting oxygen. And then it'll be sort of, she'll sleep it off for about 45 minutes, and then I'll get some medicine into her. She'll have a searing headache when she comes to. And that's why it's important. I try to prevent her from even having the convulsive seizures. This is why I can't leave her alone, because it's like she's perfectly fine and perfectly normal and behaving perfectly normally until she's not. In which case I have to act very quickly and get certain things done. Can you still hear me?
Oh yeah, so it's pretty much constant care.
Yeah, so it's 24/7, and I mean I have to check on her every 30 to 90 seconds. Because we'll be sitting having medicine, we're watching a TV show, we're sitting on the couch, we're watching something funny. She'll laugh and comment like, that's a fucking funny thing you just said or whatever. A minute later, I'll reach for the volcano bag, and she's just sitting there holding it, staring off, and I have to jump in quick. I mean, literally, she'll be fine 1 minute, and 60 seconds later, she's just blinking and drooling.
So so Christine, do you have any triggers that set off seizures more than others?
Well, this has been the difficult thing. The neurologist that I had access to in Kingston a long time ago, we tried to find out if there were any actual specific triggers, and we really can't find anything that is actually specific because there seems to be multiple factors going on.
Yeah. When she's on the bus, we try to, like this time of year, if it's sunny, the light comes through the trees and it flickers like crazy inside the bus.
Right.
So she'll wear a blindfold on the bus to avoid that, because if she catches just the right frequency of flicker, it could set her right off. It's happened before. It happened in the O train one time.
My cousin gets set off by just about anything. A car going by, tooting its horn.
Oh well, no, she's not that delicate. No.
When I was younger, though, I would have problems watching Sesame Street, and I would also have problems watching Rocket Robin Hood and Spider-Man.
Oh, I missed that show.
There was a couple of segments.
Episode.
There's a crossover episode in the Spider-Man and the Rocket Robin Hood series with "Welcome to Dementia 5."
I remember that one. Yeah, I do.
So a lot of strobing, and the angst that would build up in the adventure would actually cause me to go into a seizure. Then on the Sesame Street, it was the skit where I think Ernie dyes Bert's hand purple or something.
No, Bert was doing some dyeing, and his hand was stained purple. Yeah. So Ernie's like, "Here, put on a mitten." He's like, Then he dresses them all up in winter clothes to cover up the fact that he's got a purple hand, and then they're supposed to go to the beach or whatever. So it's wah wah wah.
Yeah.
A typical sort of Ernie and Bert kind of sketch.
Yeah.
So watching these angst-inducing programs for me would actually, in some case, set me off in front of the television set. The other thing, too, when I was younger, and we'd be in the classroom and watching, I guess it's 35 millimeter film.
Yeah.
You know, like 16 millimeter with your typical film projector. That would also cause a lot of problems for me too. I would go into seizure mode as well because of the actual rate of flickering that occurs on a film projector.
That's
and the thing is too that like when you and I walk into a store and there's fluorescent lights, all we see is one big simultaneous event. It's light. There's light. It's bad light, but there's light. But if you walk into a store and one of the tubes is starting to go, or a ballast goes and there's two lights flickering, you go, oh, that's annoying, the flickering tube light up there, somebody should change that, right? That's how Christine sees every fluorescent light. Because her brain is slightly out of phase, and fluorescent tubes refresh at like 30 frames, 30 refreshes a second or whatever, she actually gets that sort of illusion like you see when you're like a wheel moving backwards on TV.
Yes.
She gets that illusion, so every light is flickering to her because her brain is out of phase.
Yeah.
The reason light bulbs and fluorescent tubes and film work for you and I is because our brain puts it all together into one linear thing.
It's in sync.
But that's why when you look at a wheel turning,
it goes back
on film. It'll, like a car will pull up to a house, and for a second there it looks like the wheel's actually going backwards. And it's an optical illusion because of the frame rate versus the rotation of the wheel rate.
Yeah, and she sees that all the time.
Because her brain is out of phase, she sees fluorescent lights flicker all the time. She sees TV tubes flicker, like the old TVs flicker all the time.
That was going to be a question too. Is did the old TVs bother you with the flicker that they had?
What would happen when you look at an old television and it's forming an actual picture on like an image on the screen? What it is doing, it's taking a dot and it is moving a dot all the way across the horizontally across the line, and then it goes back down to the next line, and like typing, right?
Yeah.
So what it actually does, very, very quickly, it forms the actual image that you're viewing. But what... it's 30 images a second.
Right.
But what I see that actual dot that is going all the way zigzagging back and forth across the television screen, making that image. I'm seeing the actual image being constructed, like tracer lights.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
That wouldn't. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. It wouldn't be fun either.
So I don't like watching CRT televisions.
We have a flat monitor now, so it's okay for her.
I also have problems with these new coiled light bulbs. They also give me the same...
They're fluorescent bulbs.
Yes, they give me the same problems as regular fluorescents. And tungsten bulbs, I see them actually go a little bit brighter, and then they go a little bit dimmer, and a little bit brighter, and a little bit dimmer, but slowly.
Right?
But they're slower because the amount of heat that would be in that filament.
No, it's not. It's because of my brain
being out
of phase. That's why.
Because from what it sounds like is the phase that you're seeing everything at is probably around 60 hertz, which is what your lights and everything kind of have that constant flicker because that's what your voltage is running at.
But exactly. But years and years ago they did a brain scan on her, and the guy told her that she shouldn't even really be able to walk and speak and stuff because her brain was just basically, for the first 2/3 of every second, it's just static. And then for the last third of every second, her brain works normally. So every second of her life, her brain is basically recalibrating.
I was told that what I was experiencing was, now let me just think about this here a minute, that for approximately 0.7 of a second, my brain is out of phase, and then for 0.3 of a second, it's actually functioning normally, and then all of a sudden it just goes into complete again. So they're wondering why it is that I'm even conscious and being able to conform thoughts and hold my bowels.
Because you keep using cannabis.
Well, this is long before the cannabis.
That was long before cannabis, even before cannabis even came into my life.
So when she was 21, this doctor told her that that people with her type of epilepsy usually don't live to 40. That if the pharmaceuticals don't kill them or secondary injury, then suicide usually does.
And that's when I confessed to my neurologist at the time, we were having a consultation, that I actually tried killing myself when I was 8 years old. I tried hanging myself in the basement from a belt that was hanging from one of the basement rafters. And that didn't work too well for me. I'm still here. But,
just keep fighting.
Keep fighting. Keep going.
But the video still gets like 1,000 hits a day, so that's pretty good.
The video,
trippy.
I think, is educating a lot of people out there. It's basically, it's spreading itself now. It's made itself go viral.
Yeah.
Just because the people that have been viewing it are realizing this is what it actually looks like, and they're sharing it with everybody else. And I think it's great. It's a great video.
It is.
I only ever watch it the once, and I never have to see it again.
Yeah.
But it is a great video.
It's not a pleasant subject, but it needs to be told. And there they go again.
Yep. His connection is gone again.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yep, that's okay. We're going to listen to... No, we're not. We're going to keep talking to Russell. And tell me about your website and your activism and what you two do to get the word out, other than videos and things like that. I don't think they're here.
I think we only have him here visually.
I think
he's probably listening to us, and he's probably yelling into his mic the answer.
Yeah.
So we'll let him get it sorted out. Maybe we'll take a break and listen to a quick tune and get him back on.
Yeah, we're going to listen to some Barry O'Farrell, and the title is Green. This is the 420 radio show live on lifestyleradio.net. We got about 45 minutes. Come on in the chat room. Say hello at lifestyleradio.ca or lifestyleradio.net. And we'll be back. Say hello at lifestyleradio.ca or lifestyleradio.net.
Every leaf on every tree and every lion's box of tea. Sometimes it has true what you see are green. And if you head out on the date St. Patrick, you drove all the snakes away. That's the only color that you're likely to see. Oh, but that green's not the color of my story. The green that's in my mind is a victim of envy. So Thomas Jefferson signed his name on a little piece of Mary Jane. Although since then, writing papers sort of changed. And if he was around today to see how we're blinded from our dreams, he'd hold his head and brand us all insane. Cause that little bit of paper deserves some reverence. After all, it was a declaration of independence. And I said, no, we ain't gonna wait any longer. The people of the movement, the exodus grow stronger. Shake it, hey, we gotta keep on pushing harder to free the green and bring the people back together. Now up in Nova Scotia there's a guy called Rick, and he's perfected an incredible trick. And its efforts are to make people not sick. So he puts the seed into the soil. When it grows it makes a special type of oil. Just for that they want to throw him in the neck. But good old Rick's intentions, they were pure. The only thing they wanted to do was find a cure. And I said no, we ain't gonna wait any longer. The people of the movement, the exodus grow stronger. Shake it, hey, we gotta keep on pushing harder to free the green and bring the people back together. I want to feel the rain tonight. Won't you come and now take me, baby? Take me outside. I want to feel the rain tonight. I wanna feel the rain tonight. Now here I get another impression from the news. It appears that we're in recession and the wars continue to ravage Mother Earth. Oh, well, I've got just one thing to say. You better wake up, people, and change your ways. So mama, keep it cool and not change things for the worst. We need that green to be the color of our story. We gotta do something quick to save our history. And I said no, we ain't gonna wait any longer. The people, the movement, the eggs that us grow stronger. Shake it, hey, we gotta keep on pushing harder to free the green and bring the people back together. No, we won't wait any longer. The people, the movement, the eggs that us grow stronger. Shake it, hey, we gotta keep on pushing harder to free the green and bring the people back together. To free the green and bring the people back together. To free the green and bring the people back together. To free the green and bring the people back together.
This is the 420 Radio Show. We are live, and we're back with Russell. We're going to try him on Skype.
Yep.
So everybody can hear everybody?
I hear everybody.
Okay. Where did we leave off?
Oh, the video.
Okay.
Video. Yes, the video is very educational, very helpful. It was used on a TV show called The Doctors, a Canadian, an American talk show. It was used on a morning magazine show in Japan. They contacted me and asked if they could use it. And, in the first year it was up, we were getting all kinds of requests for the raw footage without text over it and stuff. From hospitals and schools. Sometimes, a kid, like a high school student, would say, yeah, I'm doing a presentation for school. Is it okay if I use your video? And I'd say, sure. And sometimes a professor would contact me and say, yeah, I'm teaching at a university. Is it okay if I use your video? And, and everything in between, too. You'd have grad students and college students and all this type of stuff. So that's why we put the disclaimer up saying, anybody who want to use it, just use it. You don't have to ask.
We figured that the footage would be, I figured that the footage would be a great way to expose ignorance that a lot of epileptic people feel, and it would also educate a lot of public, hopefully thus those ignorant people.
That's why we don't take any of the comments down?
No.
I don't take comments down either.
Times?
What was that,
What's
Marcel?
You just let ignorance run free with some of the comments?
Oh yeah, well we let the comments, we leave them there so that people can see them and see what epileptics have to put up with from society. So, somebody will say, LOL, this is funny, I hope she dies. And then 5 people will just jump down his throat about it. So, and we just leave all that there on the page. We let it all just happen because people need to see not only the seizure, but the kind of bullshit that you have to put up with as a person with epilepsy.
I'm fucking stunned. You're telling me that there are people that are insulting you after watching the fucking videos.
Oh,
daily.
Yeah, totally.
Daily.
Yeah.
Daily.
Yeah. But this is the type of stuff that I've grown up with. This is the type of community I entered in the small town that I grew up with. There was only a handful of a select few people who cared about me and who helped and assisted my family in ways that they could. But the rest of the town, they can go fuck themselves.
She had a really rough time as a kid. Yeah. And so the thing is, we get a lot of nice comments too.
Yeah.
But we just leave all the comments. So
that's
see.
It's baffling to my mind that how cruel some people can be.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. It's usually the younger somebody is, the more cruel they can be too. It's odd.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, Russell. I remember, literally, I was over 500 pounds at one time. Okay. I can remember a few times walking down the road with my sister and hearing a muddle, but her hearing a comment and her turning around and calling them out on it.
Yeah.
And I mean, it happened so much to me, you know, the staring. Now, I have a hard time even now going into, I can fit in a McDonald's restaurant seat now, so I like to go to McDonald's, but I won't eat there because people stare at the fat guy eating McDonald's.
Yeah.
And it's turned into, because of that, it's turned into a mood disorder, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'm agoraphobic because of it, so unfortunately.
If I may be so bold to suggest,
Uh-huh.
take pride in the fact that you are no longer eating at McDonald's because you don't want to eat any of that garbage, honey. Please don't.
I don't.
Take pride in yourself.
I don't eat at McDonald's very often because there isn't one in this town. And I moved here specifically because of it.
I used to eat a lot of McDonald's, and I don't anymore.
I have an addiction, and my addiction is food. And I eat it when I'm depressed, and I'm chronically depressed, so I ballooned up. Now, wouldn't you know it, I'm having thyroid issues, so I'm fighting with my fucking weight again.
Yeah.
But, you know, I find that, getting back to the cannabis whole thing, I find that, you know, it's very hard for somebody with an eating disorder to use cannabis as a medicine and not gain weight. But I'm enjoying edibles enough that combats it for me.
For myself, I found it exactly the opposite. As soon as I was able to have cannabis, I was actually able to eat properly, have an actual appetite occur. And what I found was that when you're on anticonvulsants, your brain tends to register hunger more like an annoying body sensation rather than actual hunger. So I found that difficult. So it's not like pot made me hungry and I'm wolfing down food uncontrollably or anything.
Pot actually changes your metabolism, so you actually get most pot users are thinner. Too,
Yes,
so.
no, and I understand that. My unfortunate thing is with ADHD and mood disorder and an eating disorder, you've got the best of all three evils right there coming at you. And cannabis does one thing for one thing, another thing for another thing. And then you top it off with the ADHD when I want the high to keep me, you know, calm. And it's a hard one. But what I do find is that my brain is able to say, no, wait a minute. More. Do you know what I mean?
That's the thing with me and booze, right, and pills.
Yeah.
Is I'm constantly thinking about it because my life is stressful and I want to get away from my stress.
Yeah.
But, you know, Christine and I were talking about it a couple of weeks ago, and I said, if I was to have a double vodka 3 times a week, right, the benefit, relaxation from those drinks would more than offset the damage that 6 drinks in a week would do to somebody, right?
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
No doubt at all. The problem is, with me, is as soon as I feel that first drink hit me, that's it. It's over.
Yeah.
I will drink all the booze.
You give me a Ryan. I don't have a drinking problem at all, but if you give me a bottle of Ryan Coke, I will drink it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I can. If somebody brought me vodka now or cognac, I would not drink it, but I wouldn't keep it in the house either. You know, because I know that if I have that one, that's it. The whole bottle's gone.
When you have
and I'll start knocking on people's doors, asking them if they have any pills they want to hand me. Or
well, when you have an eating disorder, something that you have to do every day, and people don't realize that. I mean, food. You need food to survive, and when that's your ailment, then that's what's killing you. It's hard to deal with. You got the depression issues, you've got the weight issues, and it's a fucking roller coaster that I wouldn't wish on anybody.
The other thing that I find very, very beneficial with cannabis is the fact that I'm no longer on the entire swarm of pharmas that I used to be. You know, you'd go to your doctor and say, hey, I can't eat. So your doctor would say, okay, here, take this appetite stimulant.
Yeah. My hands are shaking. Here, take the sleeping pill.
Yeah,
you know?
I can't sleep. I'm having insomnia. I'm experiencing PTSD flashbacks.
Yeah.
Well, here, take this sleeping pill or this, that, the other thing. So, you know, there's a lot of quick symptom prescription writing that's going on, but there's not really, let's get into the actual problem.
Exactly.
So
That's. I think that happens because of the education or the meducation, as we're calling it. It's sad that the people we count on to take care of us, the people that the courts say have to take care of us, don't even have the right information because the government isn't giving it to them, or they're not looking it up, or they're making fucking bullshit video commercials on TV.
But you see, I'm reassured about the video, about the commercial on TV, because sensible people aren't going to believe that hyperbole. It's over the top.
But then you get people like Nancy Grace. Yes, I'm going to go there. Who bring on doctors who shouldn't be talking about it anyways, as medical fucking experts, and they're giving people the wrong fucking idea.
Yep. And this is why I keep telling people we should sue. Paul, you see that thing that Paul Calandra did the other day?
No, I didn't. Don't know what you're talking about.
Paul Calandra, he's an MP, conservative MP. And he did some fucking video about how there's a grow up and this is so dangerous and blah, blah, blah.
I just posted it actually a few hours ago.
Right, yeah. Now, why are we not suing him and trying to get him charged with a hate crime? Because if he was talking shit like that about Muslims or gays or whatever, he'd be dragged into fucking court.
You know what? I think that it's probably got something to do with that little thing called freedom of speech.
No, but there's more. Yeah, but there's the freedom of speech, but then there's like hate speech too. If I put up a video saying the kind of shit he says about marijuana, about other people, then I could be accused of a hate crime, that I'm trying to generate animosity toward a certain group of people and encouraging their ostracization or their arrest or their imprisonment or violence or suffering or whatever. That's what hate crime is. No,
start one up with all politicians, because we already do that.
Say that again,
Marcel.
Marcel.
But the thing is, if we were to start suing these people for saying the kind of shit that they shouldn't be allowed to say, right? They're telling lies. That's the difference between freedom of speech. You see?
Yeah.
And if I went and say, well, Paul Calandra is a fucking child molester or whatever, I have no evidence to support that kind of assertion.
Right.
Right? So I would never make that sort of accusation.
Somebody's just going to cut that one tidbit out and claim that you said that.
Exactly. So the thing is, if I make a video saying all this bad stuff about Paul Calandra or anybody, and it's not true, and I'm lying, that's where freedom of speech that's where the line is drawn. You can't just lie about people. It's libel. It's slander, right?
It is.
And this is what he's doing. He's lying about marijuana. He's lying about marijuana users. He's lying about marijuana growers. And why the fuck are we putting up with this?
I think it's a viable argument.
Because every politician that gets elected lied to get elected.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So the thing is, if we started suing them for lying about us, they would think twice.
Why fix it now? It's not working. I mean, it's working or something.
What's working?
That's exactly what I'm getting at.
Yeah, nothing's working. That's the
Can
problem.
you hear me?
Yeah. No. Yeah. You're working. It's everything else.
It's the system that's not working.
That's not working.
Not working. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's Mr. Harper.
The thing is, we don't file the suit. If I had the wherewithal, if I wasn't so burned out from years of this and still dealing with my sick wife, I'd be filing a lawsuit every week. I'd be filing human rights complaints every week. Against anybody who says boo about pot, I would fucking go after them.
So maybe one of our listeners that's a little healthier than us and not as fed up can maybe jump on board doing that.
Exactly. Because if somebody goes around and they're like, all gays are perverts, we should lock up all the gays, blah, blah, blah-de, blah-de, blah, and they say all this crazy bad shit about gays, some gay person or somebody who loves a gay person is going to get up their ass about it and say, I want this fucking guy investigated. I want this guy brought up on charges. I want this guy, ostracized and made a pariah. And rightly so. Until he either apologizes and changes his ways, or maybe he wants to double down and say, no, I firmly believe everything I've said earlier, and fuck all y'all. Then fine, he's going to be living on the streets, shouting faggot at everybody who walks by. Right? And
right, but when it comes to cannabis...
Right, but when it comes to cannabis...
The politicians' fallback is always on, well, it's on the CDSA.
Can we play this and not get in trouble, do you think? Because I think I'm going to... I was just...
Hi, I'm Paul Clare.
I was just
turn him off. I don't want to listen to his
No, I
garbage.
wasn't going to play the whole thing. No, I was just looking at it. I was just reading what it says.
But
Anyways,
the thing
go
is,
ahead.
The point I'm trying to make is that because we're pot users, we let people lie about us and let people lie about our medicine in ways that religious people and gays and other subgroups of our society would not.
Canadians are a very complacent species.
Oh, very.
Very complacent.
And the government takes advantage of
And
it.
so fucking entitled, I can't even stand it. You know, so this is the thing and this is why I don't write letters about this anymore. This is why I just get so infuriated by everything all the time now that if I want to maintain my health at all, I have to just, spend my time playing Minecraft and watching cartoons and trying to survive till as long as I can.
I race. That's what I do to get rid of my stress. I race on GT Racing.
Yeah, well, I can't seem to get my video game going very well on Steam. I had the Steam thing there.
I've not heard of it. I found
joysticks.
I found
USB
a good
joysticks?
one. I found a good one. It's what is it called? Marcel just started playing it too. It's GT
I don't
Racing.
know. I don't play it much because I spend more time in the kitchen coming up with new recipes.
The real racing experience or something like that. Yeah. Okay. Now let's go talk about Marcel's fucking baking, shall we?
Oh, sure. Why not? Everybody loves my baking. I just changed how I bake medibles. I don't bake any of it with medicine in it. I come up with recipes that don't take any cooking, so I'm not wasting anything by cooking the goodness out of the actual medicine.
Good.
So I cheat.
What I'd really like to try is raw cannabis, man.
You're like juiced or
juicing, juice. Pick that
Oh,
right
it's
off the vine, throw it in a
disgusting.
blender, and drink that shit down.
I've never tried it juiced,
putrid.
but I do enjoy a squirt. We made we took a whole bunch of shake and put it and boiled it down and made a tea, and then kept boiling it almost 3 days, and it's like almost like a syrup now. And
wow!
And you take that and you put a couple squirts in your tea, and it's just like like it's pure. Nothing.
That would work.
No,
Juice.
nothing.
I juice my fan leaves, Russell.
Well, that's what we were.
You can't
using.
just drink the juice.
That's what we were using. This was all made with fan.
But I'll take the fresh fan leaves off the plants and I'll run them through the juicer, and then you can take that juice and put it into the smoothies and fruit juices.
I wouldn't eat the
things
fan
like that.
leaves because the fan leaves are different than the bud leaves. They've got like little hooks on the surface. It's not very good for your intestines.
That's why you juice them.
Yeah, but if it was me, I would take a blender with a little bit of water and just drop buds into it and just make like a syrup.
Fresh buds, not dried buds.
And just drink that down, just raw bud.
Yeah, yuck.
Pick it right off the vine.
I like my bud.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of chlorophyll.
Yeah, I'm sure it tastes like fucking lawn cuttings, but whatever.
It smells like lawn cuttings, so I'm sure it's going to taste like it.
See, I have a diminished sense of smell, so most food I eat tastes pretty bland anyway. So I have
a good sense of smell, and I know not to just gulp down raw cannabis.
Yeah.
It's the same as people making butter by soaking the plant for 12 hours or whatever and leaching all the chlorophyll out of it.
It only takes about 10 minutes.
Yeah, I know. But if you look at all of the recipes that people post online,
you to leave it for
some
hours,
of them people are keeping it for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
Leaches out the chlorophyll, then that chlorophyll flavor goes into the butter that they're making and into any baked good.
Yeah.
With me and many patients after exposure to it, they end up with chlorophyll affecting the gag reflex.
Yep.
So if you make green butter and you put it in your brownies and you give it to me, I will puke.
I won't be giving you my brownies then.
Yeah.
See, because it doesn't affect me like that. I cook with it. I'll even butter up a grilled cheese sandwich with it.
Yeah. Well, see, what I've done is I've learned to make concentrates, a concentrated oil. If I need a recipe that requires butter, then I can make butter with concentrated oil. There's no chlorophyll in the oil.
But being the devil's advocate that I like to be, Marcel, some people don't have the availability that you do.
Exactly.
And some people,
and that's the problem that we have in this country, and everybody should have that availability. Everybody in this country should be allowed to grow what they need and use for themselves.
Well, you can
if
grow
they want to
lettuce.
grow it to sell it in the supermarket, then they need a commercial license to produce it, the same as you do for carrots.
Yeah, or lettuce, or taters.
Yeah, or lettuce.
Taters.
Legal like lettuce.
Pot should be just growing wild at the side of the highway.
Well, it is in some countries.
That's the way it was meant to be.
Choke off all the ragweed and.
Can we touch base on some news? One thing being that what are your feelings about Jamaica going forth and doing the deed?
I can't hear you. You faded out on me.
Did I really?
Yeah, I can't. Well, what, they're just going to legalize totally, or what?
You know what? It sounds like that's pretty much what they're going to do. Yeah.
I'm skeptical. Every time I hear some state or somebody's going to legalize, I'm always skeptical because what they call legalization now is usually just a shift to a tobacco style of regulation where people are allowed to only carry in an ounce, or they're only allowed to have 3 or 6 plants, or they're only allowed this, or they're only allowed that.
Or multiple taxes
to live under these restrictions.
Because you've got to remember that they'll legalize means they can tax the crap out of it.
Yeah, but if they would tax the crap out of it, they'd do a lot better if they just say everybody grow as much as you damn want. Just go ahead and do it. It's just a fucking plant.
Guys,
this is what's pissing me off is these assholes who don't use it. They're like, well, we can't put people in jail for it anymore. We can't kill people for using it anymore. So now we have to fucking price them into the grave for using it.
Yeah.
Why don't we just let them grow it why don't we just let them grow it cheap and just use it? No, we can't do that. That might send the wrong message to kids.
Yes, and I'm at the point myself, like many thousands of other Canadians, where I don't give a fuck. I'm done with it. And I have my pink piece of paper, and one day I might have to go to one of them MMPR things if that's the only choice that I have. But I'm holding until I know. I'm confused. I don't know what to do. I've talked to. We had an LCP grower on there. Last week, wasn't it, Marcel?
Last week, yeah.
Yeah, Darcy, and
Darcy.
We were talking to him, and he just made me even more confused. It's one confusion after another, and I'm just a guy. I'm at the point, Russell. Okay, flat out. That I just want my fucking meds. That's all. Yeah. I want my pot.
The only reason I'm even looking for a grow permit or whatever is because I have a sick wife. I don't want to spend any time in a cage. And I know people who can grow on our behalf. Understood. But they don't want to do it unless there's some paperwork to cover them from getting thrown in a cage.
That's right. Yeah. And the cycle continues.
Failing that, if I can't move someplace and grow what I need for myself, so I would just be dead. What can I say? But as far as I'm concerned, inside myself, I don't obey anybody. I don't answer to anybody. I use the pot that I want, when I want, as much as I feel like it, and I don't answer to the government. I have under no obligation to adhere to anybody's regulations. Ever. Period. When it comes to marijuana. I'll have 1,000 fucking plants. I'll have 1,000 pounds of it if I want. I'll do whatever the hell I want with my cannabis. I'm protected by the charter. Every bit of my use, every bit of my production, every bit of my storage is for my medical use and for the medical use of my wife. So whether I've got 1 pound or 1,000,000 pounds, it's mine. Fuck off, officer. This is my medicine. That's how I feel. Now, to keep myself out of jail, you got to have these special fucking papers.
Yeah.
Because trying to talk to a cop is like trying to talk to a dog that's barking at you most times.
Yeah.
They don't want to listen. They're too stupid to absorb most of what you're saying. That's why they're cops. They couldn't get into real fucking jobs. They realized, well, I've only got an IQ of 97, so I can get a job as a cop. Because that's good for me. Right? So this is the thing. You start talking, this is my fucking license to use marijuana. Blink, blink, blink. And but see, it's expired, but it's covered by an injunction. What? And then right away, they're going to call for backup. I'm going to get fucking arrested because I'm going to say, listen, you 20-something, pimple-faced, necklace fucking retard. You don't know anything. I'm trying to explain shit to you, and you keep calling me sir and talking over me like an asshole because that's how some other asshole trained you to behave. You fucking asshole cop. So this is how I feel. The only reason I have a fucking pot license is to keep myself out of jail and keep my wife out of jail.
So
as far as I'm concerned,
now that you have that license, my suggestion to you and to anybody listening that has one of those pink sheets keep it. Don't let it go.
I have a
Don't
better
lose
suggestion.
it.
But I keep it with me.
Okay.
And the thing is,
Carry it in our
Can I-
wallet.
can I-
this is why I taunt the police all the
Don't
time.
turn it
on
over to
Twitter
an
and everything, 'cause
LP.
They stop and say, fuck off. Just fuck off.
I have a
Don't
better
talk to us.
suggestion. I think
In
that
my wallet-
everybody.
in my wallet, I carry a letter which specifies that I have to have a caregiver with me because of my epilepsy condition.
Yes.
And then I also have a letter with me that mentions the fact that, I use cannabis as my medicine.
Yes.
And then I also carry my pink sheet. So when I go out in public, gee whiz, I'm glad I've got my special papers for being an epileptic and being Canadian.
I have my pink.
I
have my
I
pink
walked up
piece of
to
paper with me all the time.
Ottawa police officers a couple of years ago, 2 summers ago.
Yeah.
And I walked up, I said, hey guys. And they turned around. I said, if you walk along the street and you see a teenager smoking tobacco, what do you do about it? And he just sort of shrugged and said, nothing.
Yeah.
And he said it like that, nothing, with a shrug, like an exaggerated shrug. I said, okay, duly noted, thank you. And I walked away.
But if
Right?
it's an adult.
So they know fucking kids are not allowed to possess or use tobacco with or without parents' permission under the age of 19 in Ontario. If a cop sees anybody smoking tobacco, they should be asking them for ID. Do they do it? No. Zero fucking enforcement. They got plenty of enforcement, and they got lots of guys to propagandize, natives are bad, natives are selling smokes to our kids. Okay, well, why aren't you busting the kids for possessing these fucking things? They don't even bother. In fact, at one fucking high school, I was speaking to the vice principal, I said, you got kids on campus under the age of 19 in possession of tobacco. You've got a cop on the school property, and you're allowing this. You're allowing this law breaking. Why? He says, well, because, the parents gave us pressure if we started pressuring the kids about their tobacco use. Like they're 16, 17, the parents don't care. So I said, because the parents pressure you to let their kids smoke tobacco, you allow kids to break the law on school property. Is that what you're telling me? He's like, yeah. Hello?
Yeah, we're here. We're
Yeah.
Go ahead. Keep
So,
going.
this is the thing. So the cops don't enforce that shit at all. So if I have to put up with some fucking cop talking to me, no way. No way. I want the same fucking rights as anybody walking down the street, drinking a coffee, walking down the street, eating a chocolate bar, walking down the street, smoking tobacco.
Okay, can I ask a question?
Okay.
One of the things that I've had a problem with my whole life with cops is being hostile to them. As a kid, I grew up, a cop, oh, fuck you, cop. Like that kind of attitude. Fuck the cops, fuck the cops, fuck the cops, But now, I've gotten to the point where, they're doing a job. They're not all bad. They're doing a job. But
actually, I got some. I want to read to you.
But hold on. But there's a stigma about cops and the way they feel about the medical side of cannabis, and potheads and the way they feel about medical cannabis. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, right, but here's something that I have been doing for a long time. When somebody tells me that such and such is a good cop, my first response is, really? How many policemen has he arrested?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Because if there was any good cops, there wouldn't be any bad cops.
Yeah, I guess
every
you're right.
cop has agreed as part of his job to enforce laws.
Yes.
All of them.
Yes.
Many of these laws are manifestly unjust or even cruel and wicked.
Yes.
Therefore, every cop has agreed to act as an enforcer of laws that are manifestly unjust or even cruel and wicked. There are no good cops.
I just read an article this
Robert
week.
Higgs, and I fucking agree with him.
That
there are no good cops.
I don't
the fact
know.
that someone is even going into police work, to me, suggests a level of vileness and corruption that is marrow deep.
There is something going on in one of the states, don't know what state it is, where they are trying to pass a bylaw that it is legal to shoot a cop. And I can't remember what state it was. I guess in a defense kind of thing, in a self-defense
Well, yeah, and this
thing,
is the thing. I wouldn't go as far as to say that anybody, and I would never advocate violence against.
Of course not. I saw it and I was just like, are you kidding me?
Well, I want to see cops be put back
I won't
in their
advocate
fucking place.
violence either. Just don't try and come in my house.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be fucking servants, and they act like a boss. And I won't stand for that, because I'm a bit of a snob. All right? If some guy is a garbage man, or he's a construction worker building the roads and stuff, I don't look down on him like, oh, look at that fucking blue-collar guy. That's the backbone of our society. They keep the fucking trains going, the buses going, they keep the toilet paper and the rolls. Everybody in our society is important, right? But the thing is about the dental hygienist and the guy loading the garbage and the superintendent in my building, they don't act like a fucking boss. They don't come at me like they're the fucking boss. That's what cops do. And to me, cops are no better than fucking mall security guards or chambermaids or garbage men. They're fucking servants. They're beneath me.
That's how I learned how to treat doctors.
And this is how I treat cops. They're fucking beneath me.
A lot of my experiences with police officers haven't been too bad, but I can honestly say that the incident that we had here at our apartment, that basically ruined everything.
Yeah.
And for me, what I saw happening and what I experienced was basically a elementary schoolyard bully in a quote unquote police officer uniform.
He was a sawed-off little 20-something in a uniform with a chip on his shoulder.
And
he
unfortunately,
got right across
that's
my
the
threshold,
normal.
got up in my face and everything.
I had to step between him and my husband.
Yeah.
So I got no respect anymore. We tried to sort this out amicably. He wants to be a prick about it. We're taking all 5 of them to fucking complaints court. And like we told them during the meeting, we're not above filing criminal trespass charges against this cop because he stepped across our threshold specifically uninvited. Not only did I not invite him, I told him, no, you're not coming in.
Yeah.
And he came in anyway. And then when I asked him, why the fuck are you even here? Why'd you knock on my door? They wouldn't answer me. So the Ottawa police can all go fuck their dads. They spend a lot of their fucking time busting marijuana users in Ottawa. And as it turns out, the Rideau Vanier district, that ward, the poor ward where all the poor kids live, they got twice the bust rate of every other ward in the city. Why? Because their parents don't have the kind of money to fight the charges like the kids who live in Rockcliffe and Barrhaven and Sandy Hill. The people who got nice houses and this, they buy pot, they use pot, they don't give a fuck because they know their parents are going to get them bailed out. Right? Kids in Vanier, they don't have it quite so easy. You see?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
the cops are they're shooting fish in a barrel down there. They got fuck all else to do in this town. Every once in a while, somebody gets shot. Every once in a while, some assault happens. And they catch guys. Okay, congratulations. In the meantime, all they got to do is drive around, act like fucking bosses, and bust fucking potheads. They're a joke.
Anyways, can we get back?
And they lie and they propagandize, and then they even went so far they tried to steal my friend's phone a few years ago.
Yeah, that happens all the time. That happens all the time on the street.
Oh, I know.
You go to a gathering, to one of those events and stuff like that, and you can see the cops actually walking by, picking and choosing who they're going to roust throughout that event. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're fucking bullies. This is the thing, is these twisted fucking bullies, they get to a certain age and they realize, holy shit, I got to enter the marketplace now. I can't go and work in an office and push everybody around and call them faggot and nigger and stuff like that like I did in high school. I'd get in trouble if I did that. But if I became a cop...
what they're best at. Correctional officers and security guards at the mall.
Yeah, security guards
and
at the
then
mall are either
they still
guys
have
who are
that
trying to
some of
become
those
cops
older
or they're
guys
too
in the mall
stupid,
security
crazy,
that
or
are
out of
ex-cops
shape
have
to
that
actually
same
become
attitude,
cops.
though.
What? You guys are both talking over each other. What?
I was saying that some of the older ex-cops that have become security guards still have that cop mentality as a security guard.
Oh, yes, of course they do. Of course they do. Sure they do. It's just like a military guy coming out of the military, like a military cop going into a public cop, and they go in with a military attitude on the street. It doesn't work.
Yeah, I know. And this is the thing, too. They're training cops now to view everybody as the enemy. Everybody is a suspect. Everybody's probably armed. You need to be paranoid. And crime keeps going down every year, and they keep getting more and more cops, more and more toys, more and more powers of coercion and intrusion, and it's bullshit. We're handing the worst members of our society, the stupidest and most corrupt members of our society, the most amount of power. It's sickening.
It is sickening.
And we're way off topic, so let's get back because we're almost out of time for our show, folks.
We're almost out of time, and I want to make sure that both Russell and Christine have a minute to tell people where they can get more information, where their blogs are, and things like that.
Okay, well, you can follow Christine Lowe and myself on Twitter, where a lot of it's happening. You can find us both on Facebook. We're not under special names. It's just Christine Lowe and Russell Barth. We haven't got fancy names, or there's pictures of us there too. Our profile pictures aren't always our faces, but there's pictures of us there. I have a blog, and it's Russell Barth has a blog.wordpress.com. And there's also just russellbarth.ca.
And you also have Mummy's, what is it called?
Mommy's
Funny Medicine. Yeah, well, there's a video on my YouTube channel, which is a read-through of Mommy's Funny Medicine.
Yeah, which I love, by the way. I love that book.
My daughter loves that book.
And that's what I was going to say. We sat down and watched it with my niece, and she was just like, and she has grasped the whole cannabis thing, and then just 2 weeks ago she found out she has type 1 diabetes. So now she's said very, very abruptly, when I turn 14, I want to try that.
Well, she shouldn't wait till she's 14. She should do it now.
Well, that's her choice.
Yeah, but she should just, that's her choice. Stop fucking around and just get into it now.
I'd start her at low doses now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, start immediately.
Well, it's her choice.
You can give it to toddlers. You can give it to pregnant mothers. It's perfectly safe. It's safer than coffee. It's safer than chocolate.
Of course it is. I have no problem with it, but I'm not the parent in check. So, it's her choice. She, we're about as visible as any other family who is a cannabis family. And but yet you still have to be careful about the people around you, because some people like to butt in and
there's still a stigma, and a lot of times that stigma can come from other family members.
Unfortunately, and you know what? And more often than not, somebody who gets ratted out and when it comes to a child in cannabis, somebody who gets ratted out by the child services or CAS or whatever you call it in your neck of the woods, it's usually a family member that does it.
Yep.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And
because that ignorance of being too lazy to go and look at the actual truth.
That's right. And
often it's not laziness, it's willful ignorance. They're like, I'm not looking up any websites. I already know what I know.
Yeah,
that's another one too.
Well, research is the key. Research is the key, and it's one of the reasons why I've been sitting here for 8 years doing this, because it's how I learn. And
I did it for a while. I'm spent.
Yeah, well, you know what? I know many a person that has been doing this a long time, yourself included, Russell, and they've just thrown in the towel because there's an East Coast West Coast war going on. I'm not sure which color I'm supposed to wear this month or next month. B, the egos in the cannabis community, specifically in Canada, are out of fucking control. Yes,
I know, it's hilarious.
And I know who I know, and those are the people I'm going to continue knowing, and I'm at the point where I don't even want to know anybody new, because they're full of shit. They don't know anything.
Well, or they're regurgitating a lot of stuff that was said years ago that's now out of date.
Verbal diarrhea. I'd rather sit there and have a conversation with 3 or 4 younger people about what cannabis really is than listen to an old fart who thinks he knows everything that is, and they don't even use it.
You know
I'll shut up now.
What's been really funny for me is living out in the suburbs where I live. We get a really wide cross-section of, like, elderly ladies and teenagers and, everything in between.
Yeah.
And I have found that the people most likely to balk at the whole medical marijuana issue is not the old ladies or the old men. It's not the teenagers. It's these health food, yoga, Reiki people. That crowd...
Yeah, I could see
who
that.
will tell you, I've got, this lovely chamomile tea, or they've got all this herbal, any kind of herbal shit, they love it, right? Mm-hmm. Herbal this, herbal that, herbal the next thing. Mm-hmm. Homeopath, all this bullshit. Mm-hmm. They will balk more at marijuana. Say, it's a drug, and it's no, it's not. And they will literally, like, a lot of them are very la, 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 I can't hear you kind of thing about it. Whereas the big meat and potatoes guy who's standing there with a big coffee and a cigar. Are you okay?
Yeah, just stretching. He's
like, I read about that. That's marijuana. Yeah, I've heard it's good for epilepsy and stuff. For my aunt has fibromyalgia. So your sort of meat and potatoes regular people are very, very absorbing of this kind of information. But the people who have been, doing all this yoga, homeopath, Reiki, spiritual shit, they really seem to balk. They really get their back up about the whole thing. And it's because I was talking to one lady who owns a store, and I pointed out, I said, if pot ever becomes legal and sold on shelves, more than half the crap you're selling along the back wall of your store here is going to be useless.
That's true.
It's true. Because why go get some stupid concoction of chamomile and camphor and fennel or Greek or whatever, and all this stuff that people which all have medical properties. I'm not dissing herbs or herbal remedies. I'm just saying it's really funny that the people who are so into herbal remedies will totally scoff at the most beneficial medicinal plant in the world.
So do doctors. So do doctors. And so do doctors,
yeah. Yes. But I mean, doctors are trained by pharmaceutical companies to push pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
We got really lucky with our doctors because they're of this sort of, let's try exercise and a healthy diet first.
And then, let's
then see what happens.
Yeah, let's knock on each door. And on that, Russell, Christine, we could sit here and talk to you guys all night long, but we're at the end of the show, and I just have to mention that next week we have a comedian and producer, Adam Hartle. He's going to be with us. He was here with us before we started having our audio issues. He's going to come and chat with us about his film, Mile High, The Comeback of Cannabis, which is stand-up and other comedic ways to approach the subject.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right,
and our other guest is going to be Jack Kungle, who's actually cured his cancer using cannabis.
Oh, wow.
Well, the next person should have a nice chat with Alan Park from CBC.
Well, you know what? We want to try and get as many people. We're going to have a patient on with us as well as our guests, whoever they are, every show now. We're trying to mix things up a little bit so that people are actually hearing patient testimonies, what works, what really doesn't work, from the people that it's working for, not from fucking doctors like Dr. Oz.
Well, go on YouTube and look up how Alan Park cured his cancer.
I will.
It's a video I did.
Okay.
All right. Thanks a lot for having us, guys.
Thank
Not
you so
a problem.
much.
And we will be back.
Thank you so much, Christine and Russell.
Yes, thank you very much, guys. It was a pleasure. I enjoy speaking with you both. And
back at you.
We'll definitely have them back on the show again. Marcel, always a pleasure. You got anything coming up this week or anything?
Not this week. I mean, being that I'm the communications director for the MCPAC, I will inform people that the MCPAC has entered a motion to act as an intervener in the Owen Smith trial for the Supreme Court. And we'll get confirmation on that Monday, which means next Friday we'll have a little chat about what's going on in the Supreme Court of Canada.
Oh, goody. And there was something else that happened in Canada recently, or like today.
Yes, that's actually very exciting for people like me, for the people with terminal illnesses that have no way out. So if they take away our cannabis, we now get an option, too, of assisted suicide.
I understand it. I understand why. I understand the need for it. I don't know if I personally would choose that, though. I'm not sure. But then I'm not in that position.
Yeah, see, if when you're in the position of you know what's coming,
that's right. Yep.
Then it's nice to have that option available.
And we're going to be talking over the next months. We're going to be talking with people who are in those positions. We're going to be talking with parents who are struggling with going to jail if they treat their child. We're going to be talking.
We'll run the gamut.
Yeah, and then to top that, we're going to be listening to some independent music. We're going to have some celebrities on talking to us about what their views are on cannabis, the whole shooting match. So this is where we are Friday nights now, 7 o'clock, lifestyleradio.net. And I will say goodnight to my buddy Marcel. And
good night, Al.
To the folks that are in the chat room, thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next week. This is the 420 Radio Show. Peace. Thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next week. This is the 420 Radio Show. Peace.
Ayo, I need some more green again. QP and D's again. No seeds to keep the stem. I wanna get blazed like I was 14 again. Wait patiently, grab my bongs and start cleaning them. I anticipate, where's my cash? Get it straight. Got a scale, check the weight. Better be no fucking shake. I have no funny taste. For my money's sake. Look, buddy, wait. I should get a break. The shit you said was grade A. It's straight hay. For the money that I paid, you should roll me up a J. He said that's all she wrote. We laughed and had a toke. He got his cash and hit the road. I got my stash, I'm good to go.
You got some bud, buddy. I need some bud, buddy. I got some money. If you got bud, buddy, bud, buddy, bud, buddy. I need some bud, buddy. I got some money. If you got bud, buddy, bud, buddy. Since 300 BC, it's been used by all men. Marijuana is a cultural medicine. Don't you believe all the things that you hear? For ganja is coming, yes, Jah is coming. Times have changed from buying a dime at a time and trying to get high with 2 spliffs with 6 guys. Nowadays a joint barely gets me by, cause I'm smoking with Mary Jane on the daily. Usually pay my respects on time, but somehow it just seems to slip my mind. I need to see the man cause it's Friday night and I can't get my head straight, can't get my head straight. Call up buddy, telephone is ringing, I'm getting nervous, hear the fat lady singing. About to hang up, call it quits for the night, then I hear, and I say, hey there guy, you got some bud, buddy. I need some bud, buddy. I got some money. If you got bud, buddy, bud, buddy, bud, buddy. I need some bud, buddy. I got some money. If you got bud, buddy, bud, buddy. You like music, you like weed, well, we gonna be good friends indeed. This is not much I like more than smoking trees. They'll make you dance the do-si-do and teach you how the chiva grows. Smoke a bowl on the 420 radio show. On Lifestyle Radio.
So what are you doing? Nothing? Why not?
I'm trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.